Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Caitlin Proctor, and I am super excited to welcome you to Intention Setting for 2017. Attract more of what you want. Thank you for sharing your time with me this evening. I plan to make it worth your while, and I'm excited to share with you how to attain those goals you want to go after this year. So a little bit about me, like I said, I'm Caitlin Proctor. I do change my hair a lot, so if you connect with me on social media and you see my hair different colors, don't worry, it is still me. I have been a hairstylist for years before I became an entrepreneur, and I just am always, changing things up, keeping it spicy. I am a wife, a mom, an entrepreneur, as well as an energy worker. And you can connect with me at BeHealthyBeRad.com. That is my blog. I will be adding energy work up there soon so I can connect with those who aren't in Arizona where I live. I will also at the end be telling you how you can connect with me on social media. Like I said, I am a mom, and so I do this from home. You might hear my crazy kiddos in the background. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and they get along great. They're wonderful kids, but they're also very loud. So you guys might hear them as part of the presentation, and, just enjoy the ride. So, like I said, I have taken a lot of courses, done a lot of webinars, all on intention setting and, how to change our lives and attain goals. And here's the thing is there is a lot out there that says, it's all about wishing, waiting, hoping, you just throw it out there and then you sit back and you wait for it to come. And if you're anything like me, you're going to say, well, gosh, that sounds really wonderful and that sounds really easy. But I have been, setting intentions since I was 4 years old to win the lottery. And guess what? I am in my mid-30s and that still hasn't happened. So it takes a lot more than just intention, okay? It takes this step-by-step plan that I'm going to give to you. You are going to fill in what you are going to do, but I'm going to give you the blueprint for this. It's super easy to follow, and you are going to get real results. So this isn't just wishing, waiting, and hoping. This is actually something that you can track down. And what I'm excited for is I want you guys to take notes. And I encourage you that if you don't journal already, I encourage you to journal in 2017 because what I would love to see for you, and I would love for you guys to let me know how this goes for you as well throughout your year, is I would love to see you journal about whatever goals you're working towards or dreams you're going after. I want you to journal through this year, and I want you to journal starting today, starting with this webinar of where you're at, where you want to go, what are your thoughts on this? I want you to write down this blueprint and fill it out. And then in December, I want you to see how far you've come and be able to review your journal over the last year. I want you to be able to review your journal from this day and look at where you're at in December. Because that is a truly powerful, powerful thing to do. And I would love for you all to be empowered that way. So the first thing that we're going to do before I can even give you this blueprint is you need to know what you want. What do you want? You need to get really clear. If you're wanting to get healthy, what does that mean? If you're wanting to lose weight, okay, how much? If you're wanting financial security, okay, how much money? What does that mean? What does that look like for you? You need to get really clear and really specific. You can't just say, I don't ever want to worry about money again, or I just want to be healthy. You really need to break it down into what does that mean for you? What does that look like? And I want you to write it down. There is something very powerful that happens when we write stuff down. That is one of the amazing ways that we manifest, and it's just kind of sealing it in. It's like almost like signing a contract with ourselves and signing a contract with the universe. So write it down. Create a vision board. I know you guys, a lot of you are familiar with vision boards. Don't create a vision board. I've done this before where I have created a vision board and then I like threw it in a closet. Create a vision board and put it where you can see it every day and where you can put a little check next to those dreams after you've achieved them. And so, on vision boards, I encourage you, it doesn't have to be just the dream house, the dream boat, the dream car. Write down little small accomplishments too that you're working towards, and get all of that up on your dream board. You want to look at it and be inspired by it. Create an audio file. So here's one of my favorite things to do is create an audio file. You can pull this up in the voice notes on your phone. And if you're old school, you can get a little recorder. And what you're going to do is you are going to speak to yourself as if you have already achieved whatever it is you're working towards. Whatever it is you're trying to manifest, you're going to speak as yourself as if you've already achieved it. And so that might, like, let's say I wanted to become a partner at a firm. I might say, I am so thrilled with my life. 1 year ago, I couldn't imagine myself here hardly. And now I am a partner at my firm. I wake up every morning. I go for a run. I sit and do my meditation. When I walk into my office, I am greeted with smiles. I am so fulfilled by the people I work with, the work I get to do. My staff is amazing. I get to enjoy a fresh cup of coffee from Starbucks or my local coffee shop every day. Really start telling your story and recording it, and say what your day is like. What does your life look like? How do you feel about it? And what is powerful about this is, when somebody tells us something, we start believing it, right? So it's kind of like, and that can be positive or negative. If we have someone in our life that's constantly telling us negative things, eventually we start believing it. And if we constantly have someone in our life telling us positive things, we start to believe it. Well, what we don't realize is that we have that power ourselves. Okay, so whatever we're telling ourselves, we're believing it. And unfortunately, a lot of us have a lot of negative self-talk going on. So if you can record that and you can listen to that throughout the day, listen to it while you're driving, listen to it while you're taking a shower, just listen to it as much as you can. You're not going to see that voice as like, oh, that's just me talking. You're going to really start to believe. After hearing that, you're going to really start to believe that that's you. And that is truly going to be powerful and creating that life that you want. So I really encourage you to use that tool. For me, that has been more empowering than even a vision board. Is just hearing, being told that every day. So please, I encourage you to use that. And then the other thing is share with friends. Now, if you know that your friend Susie is not going to be supportive of what you're doing, then don't choose to share it with Susie, okay? Because we want this to be empowering for you, but find a safe place. Find people who are really supportive of you and really encouraging, and share it with them. Maybe you're going to put it on your social media, but that way you're putting it out into the universe. You're saying, this is what I'm doing. And when you start sharing your dreams, they become so much bigger. And this happened to me just the other night. I had a new idea, a new dream, and I was really excited about it. And my husband was working in the garage, and I ran out there and I started telling him about my vision. And as soon as I started telling him about it, he's just smiling and nodding. He's very supportive, but he's just listening. But just that simple act of sharing it made it so much bigger and so much juicier. And I got that much more excited. So share what you're doing, share with your friends. All right, so let's map all this out. All right, so you have what you want to do. You are being clear about it. So the first step is you have got to commit, all right? Then the second step is you're going to believe. It's a big one. The third step, now this is what makes this a little bit different than a lot of other intention setting courses, is you're going to walk the walk. That it's the action is what really puts everything into place. You can't have any of this without the action. You have to walk the walk, and nobody can walk it for you. And then lastly, achieve. So we're going to break all this down. If you need to screenshot this, go ahead. Feel free to screenshot as we go along, because I really do want you guys to start filling this out. As ideas pop into your head and thoughts pop into your head, fill them out, write them down, because a lot of times it's in the moment we're being inspired. The most effective way to do it is to do it. Amelia Earhart. I mean, I have little quotes that I love throughout this, but don't worry about how you're going to do it. Just do it, and it's going to happen for you guys. Okay, so step one. Oh, and gosh, this blew it up so big. My commit is off course. Well, oh well. You guys can roll with the punches, right? So step one is to commit, and what this means is you got to go all in. So many of us were afraid of failure that we never really tried. And it feels safer that way to us, but honestly, that's what holds us back. I remember, I want to say it was Jack Canfield. I might be wrong on that, but who I was listening to was saying, I can tell you how successful someone is by how many failures they've had. And gosh, now it might have been Jim Rohn, but you guys, you see what I'm saying is the more failures we have, the closer we are to success. And so somebody who never fails, they aren't going to find success. And that feels safe, and I understand that. But none of us are happy in safety. We don't feel fulfilled when we're in our comfort zone, right? We feel safe in our comfort zone, but we don't feel fulfilled. We don't feel satisfaction. We don't feel that until we're bending and stretching and pushing beyond those limits that we've set for ourselves. So you really have to commit that you're going to go all in. You can't just dip your toe in the water and say, well, I'm going to see if I'm going to be good. I'm going to see how this works out. You have to commit and say, I'm doing this. I'm giving this all I've got, and I am doing this. And start it out that way. You need to find your why. So dig deep. Why are you going after this goal? Why are you going after this dream? How is it going to make you feel? What is it going to do for you? Danielle Laporte has a great fire starter sessions that you can check her out. She's wonderful because she tackles setting your goals off of how is it going to make you feel and getting really in tune with that. So for example, if your goal was to lose weight, okay, why do you want to lose weight? Well, I want to look good. Okay, well, why do you want to look good? Well, I want to feel good. Okay, what are the things you're going to do when you feel good? Well, I'm going to go on bike rides, and I'm going to take my kids to the pool and stop making excuses of why we can't go. Okay, well, what's that going to feel like? Well, that's going to feel like I've achieved something, and that's going to also feel like freedom. And so you can really dive deep into why you want to do these things and how they're going to make you feel. And when I started one of my businesses, I remember I was told, your why needs to make you cry. And at the time I thought, well, gosh, that's silly. I'm not much of a crier. Well, I'm not a lot more sensitive now, but at the time I wasn't much of a crier. And I thought, I can't think of anything that can make me cry. Well, it wasn't too long before I discovered it. And that business actually to this day has pushed me to stretch beyond my wildest dreams. 3 years ago, I would have never done something like this for you guys. I was very shy, had major stage fright. And so it really pushed me to grow. And there were a lot of fears though that I had to push through, and that business still stretches me to this day. But if it wasn't for my why, I would have just backed out as soon as things got scary. As soon as I had to push through my fears and step out of my comfort zone, I probably would have said, well, this isn't for me. But because my why was so big and it ran so deep, there was just no way I was going to say, well, fear got the best of me. So find that why. Have a timeline for yourself and be realistic. So for instance, if you're wanting to lose 25 pounds, you're not going to set your timeline for 2 weeks, okay? So let's say you set your timeline for a year. What this is going to do is after those, let's say you work out and you're on this diet for 2 weeks, and then you say, well, gosh, I'm tired of doing this. That didn't get me where I wanted to go. Well, you haven't really put in the time that you said you were going to put into it. So I'm not saying give yourself too much time to where you're relaxed. Challenge yourself a little bit, but give yourself ample amount of time to where you're not just in it for a few days, a few weeks, a few months. You're really giving yourself, for dreams, I always say you at least need a year, at least a year, and then check back in and then see how far you've come. But have that timeline and know that, you've committed to that and you're not going to give up before then. And then realize that this is a journey. There is no final resting place. What do they say? The only final resting place is when we die. And so it is human nature that when we meet our goals, we come up with new ones. And that's how we expand and we grow. And so if we're not enjoying the journey, we're not enjoying our life, because we're always moving towards that next step. So enjoy this journey and know that you are going to learn and grow, and that through your fears and your trials, you are going to walk through them and you are going to be a greater person than you ever thought possible. And here is Sarah Jessica Parker. Don't let other people's opinions of you become your opinion of yourself, which is a great one to remember in embarking on any new journey. All right, step 2 is believe. All right, and you want to believe beyond a shadow of a doubt, you guys. You have to believe. Even if it's, the littlest bit in the beginning, you have to have some type of belief that you can do this. Even if you don't know how, I should say, even if you're like, I have no idea how I'm going to attain this goal at the moment, you need to believe that it's possible. And to believe it's going to help you to look up other people who have also done what you have done. Look up other success stories. Look up, Chicken Soup for the Soul is a great resource of just underdogs, of great inspiring stories. But find other people that you can hear their stories, and their stories are going to inspire you, and they're going to give you hope. They're going to give you belief that if they can do it, you can do it too, because you need to believe that what you want is very possible, and that it is within your reach, and that you are going to attain it. The second thing is ask for guidance. So this could look like meditation for you. This could be, praying. This could be God, universe, spirit, divine, whatever you want to call it. Just, it's basically stepping out of our own egos. Our egos, think that we know everything. We need to have the answers for everything. We have to figure it all out. This is stepping beside that and saying, I don't have all the answers. I am asking divine love to speak through me, to show me what is my next step. What do I need to see in all of this? What is the lesson in all of this? How can I see this differently? How can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? Ask for guidance and be willing to listen. Divine guidance doesn't always come in a form of, the plan we have created. It might be a step in a different direction that we never thought of, and we just need to really be open to that guidance. And then third is visualize, you guys. If you cannot see yourself doing, being, doing, living in your dreams, if you can't visualize that, how are you going to get there? So if you cannot visualize yourself as having a lot of money, how are you going to be a person that has a lot of money? You need to take that time to sit and to visualize and to see it happening. Michael Jordan, this was when I was first introduced to visualization, was when I was actually a kid playing basketball. And I remember my dad used to tell me about Michael Jordan. And the reason he was such a great basketball player is because before every game, he would sit there and he would visualize. And every day and every night, he would sit and visualize. And he would visualize every possible scenario that could happen during a basketball game. And he would visualize if he got the ball, right as the buzzer was going off. If, if he was past the ball at different points in the game, if somebody took the ball from him, and all of these different scenarios, he would visualize them and what he would do. So then when he got out into the game and he was past the ball, when the buzzer was going off, he already had seen himself make that 3-point shot. He had already done it. And so he had that confidence. He almost kind of commanded his team to give him the ball because he knew without a shadow of a doubt that he could do it. And that was from that visualization because he had already done it in his mind. All he needed to do was act it out. So visualize your dreams, visualize your goals. Those who don't believe in magic will never find it. Roald Dahl. Isn't that true, you guys? All right, step 3. This is the big one. So walk the walk. And I'm so happy that my word is on the same line. Sorry if that was driving you guys crazy too. So walk the walk. And now this is going to be taking small, consistent steps every single day. So whatever it is that is your goal, I want you to think of small steps that you can take every single day that you can be consistent with over the next year. So there's a great book called The Slight Edge, and the author slipped my mind, of course. You guys can tell I struggle with names. But The Slight Edge is a great book because it is all about how, it's our nature that we think that we have to go in and give something our all, let's say our 200%. And we can only give our 200% for this short period of time. And so once we've exhausted ourselves, exhausted our resources, that schedule is not possible to keep anymore. It's not sustainable. And we haven't reached our goal. We become so discouraged that we quit. And we see this with weight loss all the time. We see this with diets all the time. We see this with working out. We see this with businesses, people starting their own businesses. And honestly, we even see this with like little projects that people have on the side. But we give it everything. And then when we're not there and we're so tired and we can't keep it up anymore, then we just quit. And the thing is that it never needs to get to that point. We need to come up with these small, consistent steps. So I want you guys to really think of what can you do every single day that you can commit to for a year, and write those things down. Because it's not the big things we do in a short period of time. It's the small things we can commit to over a long period of time that compound on each other. And that's what gives you the big effect. Okay. That's what's called the compound effect. So get those things written down. Okay. And if it's something like, oh my gosh, if I push myself, I can make myself do it, but you're already dreading it. You're probably pushing yourself too much. We do want to step outside of our comfort zone, but we don't want it to be something that we're dreading. Because if you're dreading it now and we haven't even begun, what are the chances that you're going to be consistent with that for a year? You're not, right? We want to be happy. We want to enjoy ourselves. And if we're not enjoying ourselves, it's only a matter of time before we're not going to do it. So, let's get realistic on that. Another thing is, realize that this goes with the same thing. This isn't a sprint. This is a marathon. So prepare yourself for this journey, okay? Enjoy the journey. Prepare yourself for the journey. Enrich yourself, you guys. This is huge. I want you guys to read or listen to an audiobook. I do at least 10 pages a day, or at least 30 minutes if I'm listening to an audiobook. This way, it doesn't have to necessarily be something with your business, but self-development. We really attain our goals when we have become better ourselves, when we learn and we grow, because all we see in the world around us is a projection of us, of what is going on internally. And so take that time for yourself to really enrich yourself. When you're in the car, on your way to work, on your way home, on your way to the grocery store, is a great time to listen to an audiobook. If you're taking a shower, that's another great time to listen to an audiobook. I really dislike cleaning and laundry and all of the household chores that apparently have to get done when you're a grown up. And so what I do is I listen to an audiobook while I do that, or I listen to a podcast. Because then it makes it go by really, really fast, and I don't even notice I'm doing it because I'm being so inspired by what I'm listening to. So really take time to enrich yourself, and surround yourself with other people who are goal-oriented, people who are going to support you and inspire you. Find your tribe. Now, this may not be the tribe that you're hanging out with right now, and that's okay. That doesn't mean I'm saying ditch all your friends. It means, though, you do need to find those people who are going to inspire you, who are on a journey similar to yours. Maybe their goal isn't the same, but they have something they're working towards. And so you guys are going to inspire each other. Those relationships are going to inspire you. I have friends that I love them to pieces. They're wonderful. And I definitely have my time for them. But I also have my friends that they're always into something. They're always stretching themselves and they're always reaching higher. And I know that when I really want to be inspired, when I want to feel that fire in my belly, I want to reach out to them and say, let's go grab lunch, let's get a coffee, or, let's hop on Skype, and I want to hear about what you're doing and tell me about what all you have going on. Because that's going to get my creative juices flowing. And like I said, get that fire going. And another great thing to do is find a mentor. 4 years ago, I started, I guess it's been 5 now, I started listening to Gabby Bernstein. And I always joke that she's my mentor and she doesn't even know it. But I have been following her for 5 years now. And by following her, then that led me to other people. And, it's like I was led to Marianne Williamson. I was led to Dr. Christiane Northrup. I was led to Robert Holden. All these people, Jack Canfield. And so find your mentor, find who it is that you are going to connect with. Find maybe somebody who has had your goal and you're going to, you're going to follow them and you're going to see, what is it that they did to get there. You don't have to know the person face to face and have a personal relationship with them for them to mentor you. So find your tribe. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Okay, and then step 4 is going to be to achieve. Now, part of achieving is we need to get out of our own way. Okay, we need to realize our patterns of self-sabotage and our blocks, and we need to remove those blocks, and we need to change those patterns. And I am going to do a whole webinar on removing blocks and patterns of self-sabotage and how to recognize those. It is actually such a big topic and something that impacts us all so much that it's too much to cover here. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do is I'm going to ask you guys to just kind of just put it out there to think about what are patterns that are repeating in your life. It could be repeating with relationships, with goals. It could be, maybe it's like maybe you have the same patterns in friendships, or, we see a lot with relationships, or maybe you have the same patterns with jobs. Maybe let's go back to weight loss. Maybe you have the same patterns with weight loss or working out or dieting. I want you to look at those patterns, and I want you to see if you can find blocks that you have. Maybe you can recognize negative self-talk that you're having. And patterns of self-sabotage to where there's maybe something in you that doesn't feel like you're worthy, or maybe there's a part of you that feels like if you attain your goals, you're going to be judged, or maybe people will think you're a bad person. We all have these within us, these blocks and these patterns of self-sabotage. And, they start from a very young age, from just things that we take in at a very young age that we don't know how to process. And then as we get older and our minds try to make sense of all this information that we gathered, a lot of times we turn them into messages that aren't true, such as, I'm not worthy, or I'm a bad person if I make money, or who am I to have this? So I want you guys to think about that. And then in a minute, I'm going to give you how you can connect with me. And if you're interested in that webinar, please let me know, because I would love to have you. It's going to be free. It's going to be a workshop where we're really going to bust through those blocks. So that's going to be really great. The next thing is you've got to trust and allow. And that kind of goes into what we were talking about before with, our egos and our minds. It thinks that we have to come up with all of the answers. And sometimes if it's not the answer, if things go off course and how we planned, or we aren't understanding an answer that's given to us, we can get totally derailed. And we kind of try to strong arm life in a sense, where we try to control it and say, no, I need things to fall into place this way. I need it to happen this way. This is how it works out. This is how I had it in my mind. This is how it works out. This is how I feel safe and feel comfortable. And when we do that, we block the blessings that the universe has for us. Because if you look at, your journey as this puzzle, and it's like, the universe sees the whole picture. It sees all of the pieces put together. It sees what it looks like. It sees how they fit together. And then we just get these little pieces at a time. And so we may get this piece and say, this doesn't fit anywhere. Why, this isn't, I got the wrong piece. Why did I get this puzzle piece? This doesn't go to my puzzle. But what we don't realize is it does go to our puzzle. We're just not seeing the big picture yet. We haven't gotten there yet. And so trust that the universe is working on your behalf, and allow those blessings to come through, even if it's not in a way that you have thought in your mind, even if it's not according to the plan that you created, even if it has nothing to do with this blueprint we're creating right now. Trust and allow. Everything is working out for you in the highest good. And take a step back. I'm a big proponent of meditation. Meditation has changed my life. It's a practice that I do every single day, and especially in moments of stress, especially in moments where I feel the need to control because, I feel like I've gone off course. I sit back and I get still, and I ask, how can I see this differently? What is the teacher in this? What is the lesson I'm supposed to learn? Please help me to see how this is blessing my life. And know that you just really have to trust that everything is working out for your highest good. And there is there is a blessing to see in everything. Next is I want you guys, and to go back to the trust and allow, when you do that, you're going to see that the universe is going to open up doors that you never would have thought of. And you're going to be so divinely inspired, and it's going to feel, like you're going to feel so energetic about it. It's going to feel good. It's going to really energize you, and you're going to be excited. So allow that divine guidance, allow that divine inspiration. And then celebrate yourself. So we are so good at being hard on ourselves. I want you guys to really celebrate yourselves. So whether it's a small accomplishment or a big accomplishment, celebrate yourself. Have your fears. I like to have a chicken list of fears and really go through and, each day have my one thing that I'm afraid of and get that done. And celebrate yourself. Maybe you don't get the answer that you want when you go through that fear, or maybe you don't get the outcome that you want. That's not what you focus on. What you focus on is celebrate yourself, because you just knocked a fear out of the way. And how amazing is that? The outcome is not what is the most important in that. What is most important is that you pushed right through that fear, that you did it. you did it and you're still alive. You're still okay. You're breathing. The world hasn't fallen apart. Everything is okay. So celebrate yourself. Every little accomplishment is just as important as the big ones, because those big accomplishments are made up of all those little ones, of busting through those fears and doing those little things. So celebrate yourself and celebrate others. This is super important as well, because we project what is going on internally into our outside world. And so what we see in others is what we see in ourselves. And that's sometimes hard for us to recognize, like when we're hard on someone, it's because we're hard on ourselves. And when you can start finding things in others to celebrate, maybe you make it a daily practice of reaching out to one person or 5 people and paying them a compliment or making them feel good about themselves. You can set that goal to daily do something to make others feel good, to recognize the good in someone and celebrate them. And when you do that, you're going to start recognizing the good in you and celebrating the good in you. And that's what all of this is about, you guys, is just changing our perception, changing how we see ourselves, changing how we see our limitations, changing those beliefs. And when we do that, the world is our oyster. So celebrate yourself, celebrate others, trust and allow, and get out of your own way. Gabby Bernstein says, I'm working on my happiness like a full-time job. And what better way to live life? We all deserve happiness, every single one of us. All right. Well, I so appreciate you guys spending this time with me. I hope that this blueprint gave you, a good way to start writing things down, get your ideas flowing. I really encourage you guys, like I said, to journal and keep track of this journey. Take that time every day to really take that, whether it's 5 minutes to write down what's going on and what you're working towards, what you've achieved, what you'd like to work on. Make that a practice and put this blueprint into practice as well. What are going to be your steps moving towards your goals? What are your daily actions? What are your daily practices for expanding yourself and enriching yourself? And I would love to connect with you guys. So especially if you guys want to do that course for moving through blocks, I would love to work with you. You can connect with me on Facebook. Find me at Caitlin Proctor. You can find me on Instagram at BeHealthyBeRad, and you can find me at BeHealthyBeRad.com. And I will also be adding energy work in there too. There is a pop-up when you hop onto the blog, and if you put in your email, I will be able to email you and let you know when I'm doing the webinar on blocks and self-sabotage. So thank you so much, you guys, for spending this time with me this evening. It is seriously an honor to get to talk with you. I get so excited about this stuff. I just want you guys to know I believe in you. I love you. I know that 2017 is going to be an amazing year for you. And no matter what your dreams are, I want you to know that they are not foolish. You're not foolish. They're not dumb. That you wouldn't dream it if it wasn't possible. Those dreams are given to you because they are possible, okay? So remember that. You would never have that dream if it wasn't possible for you. So go after it, make amazing things happen. Sending you guys lots of love and light, and I hope to connect with you all